Okay, so this is the stamp itself. I'll put it up the right way, you might be able to see it a little bit better. As I say, it's self-clinging. It's got, I don't know if you can see how deeply etched it is. It really is super quality, super finish on it when it's stamped. Now what I like to use when I'm stamping, everybody's different, but because I'm such a big Pro Marker fan, I like to use the Memento ink pads in black. You can't really go wrong with black as an outline image, and it shows up your other colours that you're going to be using a lot better than if you use a coloured ink to stamp with, I think. So I've already pre-done an image for you to have a look at. Let me just see if I can get that kind of straight on the camera. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I would colour this. So I'm going to run through the Pro Markers that I'm going to be using today, and then I mean, it's up to you whatever colours that you've got in your stash, but the first one I'm going to be using is Vanilla, and I'm just going to be colouring. You don't have to be too careful when you're colouring. And I've stamped here onto a cartridge paper violet reset. Actually, I'm going to turn that round the other way so I can see what I'm doing. You'll be able to get the gist of it. Okay. Now what I like to do is I like to leave white bits as highlights. I know some people like to use gel pens and add the highlights in there, but I prefer to see the paper shown through. So that's the first colour I've applied is the Vanilla. Then I'm going to go in and add a shadow with the Tan, and add your shadow down one side, but basically you're trying to get it to look as three-dimensional as possible. And you're trying to get it to look like a fluffy little pom-pom, really. Now I've applied that second colour, but I'm also going to go in and blend it with the Vanilla again. Now I'm quite slapdash at it, don't be frightened of it, and I tend to use my blending motion as circular motions. Okay, and then I'm going to go in with a darker colour again, and let's see what I've got. I'm going to go in with Cocoa, which is quite a dark brown, but again you'll just see that it just gives it a little bit more dimension. Okay, so that's your basic of your pom-poms done and finished. Something nice and easy, that's what I like. Right, we're going to go into colouring the hat. Now my mouth might water when I use this Pro Marker because it's so juicy and it's the berry red. Okay. Now, I know some of you kind of don't like to go over the lines, but if you do, it doesn't matter too much. I can remember when I was a little girl, and if I went over the lines, it was an absolute trauma for me, and I used to pull it out of the book and have to start again. When kind of you learn when you get older that, you know, it's just a little, as they say, happy accident. Right, okay, that's the first colour, and then I'm going to go in with the others with using a salmon pink. You'll notice I'm not being particularly, you know, careful, and because it's a lighter colour than the red, you can afford just to go over the lines because you know it isn't going to show at all. Right, so that's the basic of the hat done, but we want to add a shadow, and we do that going in with a crimson on the red bits only. So we'll add a shadow there and a shadow there and a little one at the sides like that, and then we're going to go back in again with the salmon pink over the top like that. and just by using the same colour you can see how it's sort of just deepened down a little bit. You don't need loads of colours, although I have got a fair few to colour this in. I've just been a bit lavish really. Right, so that's one of our shadows. I'm going to go in with a brown now, and I'm going to use the Cocoa, and I'm going to just run down the sides. As I say, this is just a guide. You use whatever colours you've got at hand that you could relate to with this. It would look nice in blues and lilacs, that sort of thing. Right, like that, and we'll colour the rest of the hat in. There's just something about these little Fair Isle patterns that reminds me of when I was young as well. You know, when you used to have your knitted cardigans on, that were all the fashion. Right, and back with the tan. And I always keep promising myself, when I get a little bit of time, I'm going to start knitting. Now what I would knit, I have no idea, but I keep promising myself that. Well, it never happens at all. Right, then we'll go in with another dark brown, and I'm going to go in with quite a deep one here, the chestnut one, and just to knock a shadow in there. Now you can see by putting in that shadow how, I don't know if you can actually on the screen, but here you can see that it actually really looks like the sun shining in on, you know, and making the hat look a lot lighter. And then just put a few more shadows in there. Okay. Then back out with my vanilla again, which happens to be one of my favourite colours. And I don't know why. I think it's just, I class it as one of those safety colours that, because it's quite light, you can you can't really spoil it really, and you can add other colours on top of it. So I've got quite a few vanillas, and I use it quite a lot. Right, so that's the base of the owl done. We'll do the top half of him, and we'll do him in tan. I sometimes use tan, or if you're just wanting to lighten it up a little bit, I use sandstone as well, but my sandstone has run out, so I'm going to have to invest in another one pretty quickly. Okay, so we're just doing these little wings. Right, now we're going to add some shadows, and we're going to do that with the Cocoa. We'll add a shadow down the side here, and down that side, just across the top a little bit, down these wings. Don't have to be too careful because you're going to blend it a little bit. Okay, and then get your tan back out. Just blend it in with your circular motions if you like. And then using the tan again, I'm going to add a shadow. Now don't be too alarmed when you see a dark line on that, because we could blend it. Okay. And then get your vanilla back out, and just, I call it scribbling over it, but because you are actually just scribbling. And this cartridge paper by Letter Set's really nice because it kind of just blends all of the colours together and takes a lot of the hard work out for you. And then let me see, where am I at? We need, oh yes, his beak, and that, what's that colour? Mango. We like mango. Now I just think it needs popping just that little bit more, so I'm going to go in with the chestnut, and just to pop it that little bit more. to make it that. I call it popping, but just to make it a little bit more three-dimensional, and I'm going to actually do that on the hat as well. So don't be frightened, you know that you can go back and add colour, more colour rather than taking it away, because it ain't going to happen. You're just going to end off with a muddy mess if you go in too dark to begin with. And then all that's left to do is his little straps of his hat. And I just normally give that a light colour first of all with vanilla, and then use that lovely juicy berry red. Like that, and again on this side. And then do some more straps with the salmon pink. And then I'm going to add a shadow using the chestnut. Just run it down like that. And then to finish, I'm going to add some glossy accents over his eyes. I love these glossy accents, but like with anything, that I'm always getting in a mess with it, and especially at either this or silicone glue, I'm always getting in a mess. And there you have it, all finished. Straighten that up. Walter in his pom-pom hat. If you have a go of it, do let us know, because I'd love to know how it turns out. Right, bye.